officially been a year since I moved out, and I wanted to kind of share my experience of leaving home and how I have adjusted to living on my own in London this past year. I had been wanting to move to London for several years, and I'd always been talking about it, and I was always like, I'll wait till this happens, I'll wait till that happens, I want to make sure I've got a lot of money, which you do kind of need because London's obviously one of the most expensive cities in the world. But I always kind of found excuses and reasons. The right time of the year wasn't right, and my sister just kind of basically said to me, she said there's going to be no perfect time to move out, you just have to do it, which I think they kind of say when you're like wanting to have a child as well, like there's just no perfect time, you just have to do it. If it's something you want, you just have to go for it. It's always going to be scary and daunting, but once you do it, that's you in it, and you kind of just, you keep going and it gets better. So I moved out last mid-October, and I got the night bus down to London, and it probably wasn't the best choice because I've since discovered I really don't enjoy the night buses back to London as much as I do traveling a different time of the day. I don't know what it is, but that time of day it just doesn't work for me well. It just felt a bit more emotional for me. So yeah, I'm going to suggest maybe not night buses for your first bus leaving home. When I was 24, I'd never felt real pressure to leave home. My parents are really great in that sense that they're never constricting of us. We had rules, but we weren't like, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to go out with your friends, you have to always be home at this time. We were very kind of given a lot of freedom, which was great because I never felt this need to rebel against anything. My parents are really great in that way where they're really supportive of us and they don't constrict us. And so yeah, that's why I never felt this reason that I needed to leave home. I never felt this great pressure upon me that I couldn't be myself and I wasn't able to live freely. There's no real other differences in my life in terms of not being able or being able to now do things or eat certain things or go certain places. A lot of people when I was in my late teens, when we were just kind of starting college, a lot of my friends were like, oh, you should move out, like it was great, like I love doing it. But what I always said to them and what I say to people now if they're thinking about moving out, you have the rest of your life to live on your own. You don't have the rest of your life, well, I suppose you could if you really wanted to live with your family and live with your parents. So there's no rush. Everybody's family situation is different. I can only tell you from my life experience and my family home and how things work for us and my point of view in terms of why I'm doing things and why I left home when I did. So don't feel if you have moved out that's wrong, or that if you haven't you're like, yeah, this is total reason why I should still be at home. Like everybody's situation is different, and back in my house we all pitch in and everybody pulls their weight. So maybe if you're not pulling your own weight, maybe it is a sign that you should leave because you need to be taking more responsibility in your own life. Adjusting to supporting myself wasn't actually that great a transition. I've kind of had a job since I was about 13 years old, so I've always had some source of income that I've had to keep control of. I'm a very frugal person with money now, and I need to buy everything, absolutely everything that I need to buy for myself now. But like I said, it wasn't this great. I've not noticed it. It's really bizarre. I think probably because I'm working more in London than I did in Scotland. I've always been buy a lot of things for myself. Like my parents don't really buy anything for me. So I don't know if you've maybe always have your parents buying things for you. It might be a bigger transition for you, but yeah, it wasn't this big deal for me. I was quite pleasantly surprised. Wait until you're ready. If you don't want to move out, you don't have to. Like I said, everybody's situation is different, but if your parents are happy with you living home and you're happy with living at home, just stay home, save money, be smart about it. Like don't just move out because all your friends are moving out. There's just absolutely no point in that at all. When I was first kind of talking about it back in an old job, one of the other girls was only starting to move out and she was like 24 as well, and a couple of other ladies was like 30, late 20s. Like everybody's situation's different, and if you don't have to, definitely don't recommend doing it because it's just smarter to stay at home and stay with the people you love for a bit longer and just kind of save some money. And the kind of emotional side of moving out, it's very scary and it's a bit daunting. It's quite sad, I'm not gonna lie. Like again, I'm gonna repeat it so many times, everybody's situation is different, but for me and my family are really close, and there's kind of just like tight knit of 6 of us. and it was really hard. My parents were crying as my sister drove me to the bus stop, and we kind of do get emotional every single time that I leave back home to come to London. I always get a bit worked up. My mum always says that me leaving to come back to London is always the hardest part, but she's like, once you're gone it's fine. Like I was like, I remind myself, I'm like, thanks mum. But it is kind of true, like the leaving part is the hardest. It has got a bit easier, but it's still not the best situation. Like it's never hard leaving somebody that you care about. It's a bit sad, and I did probably cry a lot. I remember being on Skype to my parents on New Year's Eve because I had to come back to work on New Year's Eve, and I was like crying on Skype, and my mom was like, stop, and I basically cried myself to sleep while on Skype to my parents. It was a great New Year's Eve. I was like, just stay with me. So they were watching like television and stuff, and we had kind of like camera with a laptop angle to kind of like see them in the TV. So I just like fell asleep while on Skype. It wasn't the worst New Year's Eve actually, thinking of it. Probably experienced bouts of homesickness, and there was a point where my job was really bad, like kind of mid of this year, and it didn't, like I was really unhappy for a lot of it. As like I said, it does get a bit easier, and you kind of get used to your routine of life. You're totally independent. You have to like live on your own. You have to provide for yourself. You have to pay bills. It's a great experience in terms of being fully independent and looking after yourself, and like building who you are and kind of seeing who you are and seeing you're the type of person that is able to cope with a situation. It's completely fine if you're not. Like some people obviously aren't ready, and it takes time to adjust to, but it is a great kind of character builder. Yoga, or try maybe a few more exercise classes, or join like a reading club, or just any sort of things that you're interested in. And it's hard for me because I'm kind of very socially awkward to just try and spark up a conversation with somebody and put yourself out there and just be like, hey, do you want to catch a drink? Do you want to go to see a film? And people I think are often in the same situation where they're like, oh well, they didn't ask me, so I'm not going to ask them. So just be bold, put yourself out there. If they say, oh no, I'm busy, then you can at least say you tried. Like there's nothing wrong with trying. At the end of the day, just ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen out of this situation? I wish I'd just kind of put myself out there a bit more, and it's something I'm definitely trying to do more. I do quite like having my own space. There's something to look forward to when I come back to London, because I don't have my own space back home. But we have 4 of us. I have 3 sisters. And we live in a 4-bedroom house, so everybody now has their own room. So as soon as I moved out, I lost my room to my youngest sister, which is great. So I don't have my own space back home anymore. I'm always just like sharing somebody's room. I stole my parents' room last time because they were on holiday. So yeah, so there isn't like room for me almost back there. So it's nice coming back to London because I do have my own room, I have my own space, I have like places for everything, I have all my stuff. I really enjoyed the experience of knowing that I can live on my own and I can be fully independent and I can completely look after myself. I have enjoyed moving out. It has been sad sometimes and it's been hard sometimes, and I don't enjoy being away from my family, but I have so far really quite enjoyed the experience of having moved out and knowing that I can do it. Really hard, and you do struggle, and it's not easy, but it does get better. You just keep going and just try socializing. I think that's the key to making your life easier and better. If you have like a great full life and you've got some friends and you're going out socially all the time, you're having great experiences and a great time in a different city, then you're going to be like, yeah, this was a really great choice. I'm really happy I made this decision to move out and move to this city. Take every opportunity you can and just have as much excitement and fun as you possibly can, and I will see you next time.